Yo.
Oh, well, hello there.
Well, alert.
Okay, well, is that your entrance? That new one?
Yeah, that's everybody's entrance. Everybody that's here, attending NFA on a stream on Thursday. I mean, if you're here, you got to be a whale by now, right?
Absolutely.
Because that's all we teach you how to do, is not teach you how to be a fish. We teach you how to be a whale.
Yeah.
Non-fungible owl.
Yeah, well, GM, even though it's afternoon, we are here. It is 4 p.m. Eastern on Thursday, August 11th. Thank you for chat. Thank you for everyone that's already hopped in here early on, right off the bat. Jeremy, how has your week been and how's your Thursday?
Dude, my week's been great. It's a little slower in the NFT land compared to last week, but still a lot of things going on. In the business world, at my job, pretty busy as well. Met with some pretty big name projects this week, so no
okay. Leaks.
No leaks there, but man,
okay,
it's been a little busy all around. And then today we've already hit up the winery. We've had a little cheese board. We had some cheese fries. We're chilling, and ETH is at what, like around 1900 Celsius?
It's right around 1900.
So I don't think I'll be needing this hat anymore. So I think I can go ahead and get rid of the McGoblin hat.
We're retiring them.
I think I'm gonna quit. I sent in my resignation letter. I don't think I need this job anymore. I'm tired of flipping McBurgers. So,
yeah. You know what? I think I'm joining you, but I'm gonna keep it, on the side because you never know what's gonna happen a month from now, right? It's I'm sure in a couple months we're gonna have that hat right back on, ready to start flipping again.
You might be right. You might be right.
All right, so let's hop into a quick. Let me pull my screen up. Let's do a quick little 7-day floor update because since we switched to our new weekly recap format, we bring these shows to you guys once a week. So let's look at the 7-day, basically what's changed since the last time we've streamed, what floors have gone up, what's been the talk of the town, what's moving, and here is the list of what we're going to look at. Flips.finance. Now Flips doesn't show 100% NFT projects, so there could be a project on here that's had a really big 7 days, but they're just not on here, so we'll kind of keep that in mind. But on this front page, we have it sorted by floor change over the last 7 days. We got Bored and Dangerous at the top. We got Visitors of I'm a Degen. I didn't even realize that, but that project was they're about a year old now, but I guess they had a good week. But anything in this list stick out to you?
Absolutely not, except, I haven't seen Rug Radio up there in a while, but I know that there was some Farouk drama going on. We'll probably talk about it a little bit later, but his name was on the timeline. Maybe that could have led to a little bit of a volume in the project.
That's kind of like the all press is good press type of thing, like with Farouk, which we'll talk a little bit about. We don't really spend too much time on that later. It's just kind of it is what it is.
But we got the CDBs had a partnership. Oh, CDBs. CDBs popped off crazy.
CDBs, they got to over 3 ETH. They're up 50%, and I feel like that kind of started I don't know. Like I guess it kind of started like no, I'm not gonna say there's not a bull run right now. We're not in a bull run or anything. But I started seeing more like people talk on Twitter like where hey CDBs are they're bringing this out. They're bringing back the positive energy to the NFT market. So I mean hey there we go. And Pudgy Penguins flip cool cats. That was the other news of the week.
Penguins flipping cool cats.
Yep.
Linked out. They announced some type of partnership. I forgot with who, but yeah, they announced that they've been popping off. And then let's see.
Do you have a link stock? 'Cause I know you're a golf fan. You're a connoisseur of the golf thing.
GG shirt on right now.
Yeah. Or do you have a link style?
I do not. I just don't know how the economics of that project would quite work out. You know, they tried raising money for a golf course to basically take over a golf course and rebrand it link style. But, you know, how do you expand that? How do you scale from that? Because, you know, if I'm in Texas and they create a golf course over there in Washington, what benefit I'm going to get from that? Why would I want to own a link style?
Right.
So, you know, until they announce a nationwide or global wide kind of partnership with golf courses, I'm not really too interested in that. I don't see the benefits of having one at 0.4 ETH.
Yeah.
But
I've got one. I bought one a while back. Just when I think they were like at 0.25. Whenever I bought this was like months and months ago. Just because you know I'm a golf fan as well, so it was something golf related. I was like, well, I guess I better it's like the one golf NFT. I guess I want some exposure to it just in case.
I respect the ambition. The other thing down there is F Crystals. A little bit of news on them as well later on, but they had a big sweep. They had a big sweep by a celebrity that you may all know. And we don't know why.
We don't. It was very random, I feel like, but yeah, we'll get to that. So let's hop in to the first bit of news. And so Ledger is partnering with Vulcan. They've set up Vulcan authentication to manage token gated roles in their Discord. Break this down for us, Jeremy. You're the tech guy. You're kind of like one of the bigger Ledger guys I know. You're big into this like security Discord stuff. So break this down for me. Break this down for the chat. What does this mean, and how does this affect us?
So basically, Ledger partnered with Vulcan. Vulcan, if you guys don't know, they are kind of like a collab land. They're like an alternative service to collab land. And Vulcan actually got bought out. They got acquired by Premint. So technically, Vulcan is now owned by Premint and that team over there. But Ledger partnered with them, and I'd assume that this was in the workings before they actually got acquired. But Ledger partnered with them, and now you can essentially verify that you have, and typically we have high value assets on our ledger. So now you can verify in the Discord that you have this asset on a ledger via Vulcan without any type of signing or any type of open attack vector kind of to your hardware wallet. Right. So it's completely like off chain, no signatures. So basically it's you can't get scammed. Verifying the NFTs that you have on your ledger within a Discord server.
So if I'm a user out there and I join Discord and I see a Vulcan authenticator, that's something I can trust, like Collabland, right?
Yeah, and it's actually technically it's more safe than Collabland at the moment.
There we go.
Yeah, it's more safe than Collabland. That's all you need to know. But Collabland may come out with a thing later on where you also don't require any signing. But at the moment, Vulcan is literally the safest way to verify your assets on a Discord community server.
Cool. Sounds good. Thanks for that breakdown. That's good to see. It's always nice to see these security like partnerships and basically things that make you feel more safe. It makes me feel better connecting to a Discord or a website, knowing that it's backed by Ledger. There's at least some backing behind it. Coffee joined us in the YouTube.
On the YouTube.
He's on the YouTube. Yeah, thanks, Coffee, for joining us.
Yeah, and shout out to the Twitter viewers. I know that you guys can't really chat back and forth, but we got some Twitter viewers out there as well. Sure. The other thing is, it's good to know that there is a department, a team at Ledger that is kind of hearing us. That's kind of like, hey, NFTs are a big thing now, right? They've grown in popularity over the last years. Let's make sure that part of our arm, right, like is secure. Let's make sure that those people who own NFTs and don't want to get scammed or hacked, whatever, have a safe way of doing so. So, Harry Swan with the big resub for 5 months in a row.
That was actually a gifted sub from Just a Fish.
Whoa!
Just a Fish. Thank you so much, and I'm sure Harry appreciates that. But we also do have a resub, BSB resubbing for his 6 months. Thank you, BSB. Appreciate that.
Man's a whale.
Awesome. All right, well, moving on. So speaking of, securing your assets, right? We're gonna move on to some kind of. It's not really news. This isn't gonna change the NFT market or anything. This is just. You could probably put it in the tabloid drama section, right? But we had an issue or something happened last week. Very unfortunate for this user. Basically, there are these websites now where you can put up your NFT as collateral for loans, and then you pay the loan back, and you get your NFT back. But what happens if you miss the deadline? You lose your NFT. Well, that happened last week, and not just a regular NFT. It happened to this man's CryptoPunk, his Forever Punk. He used NFTFi. He had a loan, missed the due date, and basically roundabout way it got foreclosed on, and he lost his punk because he forgot to pay back the loan in time. And I gotta ask you, Jeremy, I mean, I haven't used any of these sites. They intrigue me, like being able to use your assets like that. Yeah. But what are your thoughts on this, and have you used them before?
I've not used it. I've actually, there's been a couple times where I've thought about giving out a loan, right? Like, so basically putting up my ETH backed by an asset. And I'm glad that I did not really choose to do that over the last 3 months, because then that ETH there would have been liquid. You couldn't have cashed that out at prices that you wanted to. But no, I've checked out NFTFi. Their team is pretty solid. The software is solid. There's not been any, scams or anything that's happened there. But this one is just super unfortunate because it is a great way. And I've seen comments on the thread like, okay, if it was your Forever Punk, why would you take out a loan against it?
Yeah.
Right? But I guess in a way, if you think about it, that's actually the perfect way to do it, because if you need that liquid ETH, because you wouldn't want to sell it and then with the hopes of being able to repurchase it at a later date, right? Because that person who buys it from you could think that's their Forever Punk as well. Yeah. So if you think about it, if it is really your Forever Punk and you need the liquid ETH, taking out a loan against it would actually be the proper way to do it. But the thing is, and Sicko and I were talking about this, and it's like, you don't put a reminder on the date of when the remaining balance of your loan is due. Like, why not do that a whole week in advance, especially for a high value asset or something like this? I
feel like I would have my calendar set up with those alerts where it's like, well, remind me 2 weeks from the date, 1 week from the date, 6 days. Like, I would have it like, I think I'd have like 15 alerts if it was if I had my ape out on one of these loans. I would have so many reminders, and then I would be I wouldn't even risk paying it back on the final day. I would pay it back pretty much like the day before's. I'm not waiting until the last minute just in case. But I mean, I understand someone using their Forever Punk. I mean, people take out loans against their houses all the time. It's like their forever house. It's like, oh, why would you do that? This is kind of the same thing, right? It's a high value asset that you can, instead of just having it collect dust in your wallet, you can use it to your advantage, kind of, right? So I completely understand the thought process behind it.
Yeah, I just don't understand the scheduling of the reminders, and that just sucks for this guy. And the other thing is that I would add is he has to change his PFP, right? Like, it's not his anymore.
Okay, yes, man, you went there.
It's not his anymore. You gotta change it. You don't own that PFP.
It's been 8 days, my boy. Hey. No, that's not cool. But I guess it looks like the wallet that funded it, or that has the Punk now, was funded by Tornado Cash. So with the recent news around Tornado Cash, this man is not getting in contact with that person. It's not going to happen. That Punk is gone, unfortunately. But
he's down bad.
I just gotta hope that whatever he used that loan money for, that can make up for him losing the Punk.
I mean, maybe he put it on to Pepe's or something. I don't know.
Hey, maybe.
But the other thing is just, I would actually encourage you guys, I mean, do your own research about these sites and applications, but I would say, like, experiment within the whole world of DeFi and loans and stuff like that based on your Web3 and NFT assets. Like, it's a whole nother world out there. And I don't know, you can use it to your advantage, like you just mentioned. It's not all a bad thing. Like, loan always has like this negative connotation to it, right? But actually, it's pretty powerful if used in a responsible and I guess, mature way. So
Yeah, Coffee. I don't think we know the terms of the loan, or at least it was, he didn't disclose any of that. So I don't know any. I don't know what the terms were. But I don't know. Does NFTFi have like a standard, or is it kind of customizable depending on the lender?
depending on the lender, which is just typically an individual,
Yeah.
there are DAOs that kind of like lend out money against that as well, against NFTs. But yeah, you basically put your asset out there with the suggested thing like that, with the suggested terms that you would want. But then the lender gets to essentially, what do you call it? Like rebuttal that and say, okay, I'll lend you the money, but for these terms.
Yeah.
But I know last year, or actually it may have even been this year, but somebody got a loan for $3.3 million for CryptoPunk. I think it's for an alien.
That's
or
crazy.
for a zombie, something like that.
I bet it was a zombie. If it's on their front page, it's probably it may be the zombie right here if they use that one. But I do know that just by looking at this website, I can tell that they're out of date because no one's lending out or no one's borrowing Axies right now. You know, you can't you can't borrow against something that's worthless, right? So
Yeah.
they may need to update that to something else. All right. Well, we can move on. So we mentioned it earlier. So at the F Crystals had a big sweep from a celebrity for some reason, and we got to figure out why. So The Weeknd, like you know, we've all seen the GIF. Like, ladies and gentlemen, The Weeknd, like it's like the band The Weeknd swept F-rendered crystals and went on a shopping spree. Bought 47 pieces, spent 40 plus ETH on it. I just kind of went crazy. Just went, hey, I like this artist, and let's sweep it. What were your thoughts on this? And before we do, Hunar coming in with the sub 6 months. Appreciate that.
6 months in a row, this man's grinding.
Thank you so much.
He's been on that cog grain lately with him totally. So appreciate you, Hunter, subscribing 6 months in a row. The Weeknd, yeah, went on a huge shopping spree. He swept over 40 ETH worth of F renders, F crystals, right? The collection there that he has.
Yeah.
That's been dead now for a while. And the reason I know that for sure is because actually,
because you're an owner.
10 days ago, I accepted an offer on my crystal.
Okay.
Because I was like, all right, this project's dead. Never going to do anything. Let me take the ETH. Let me cash out. So if I wouldn't have done that, I probably would have been a part of this sweep with The Weeknd. He would have bought my crystal there towards the floor. But I just went ahead and took an offer. And yeah, I have no idea why he would have done this. The thing is that he hasn't personally announced anything about it, right?
Yeah.
It's all been the projects and news outlets reporting on this. And that makes me think that he could have been paid kind of to do something like this, like a wallet associated. Because if he announces it, if he says something about it, he has to disclose like, hey, this was a paid marketing promo, this was an ad, yada, yada. But if other people just report on the news, report on a transaction, there's nothing to disclose, right? So
well, it's kind of strange. I didn't know this was allowed. Like, I didn't know that people that had more than 10,000 Twitter followers were allowed to buy something without tweeting about it. That's crazy to me. I mean, he's got 16 million followers, and he didn't say a single word about it. I mean, I thought it was like a written in law, like, hey, if you have this many followers and you buy something, you have to tweet about it or change your profile picture or say, hey, look into this. These are mooning. And there's nothing. It's radio silent from The Weeknd, and we can double check. I don't think there's been anything recently.
Can't buy, can't sell.
Nothing. So there's not much more to break down from that. It's just kind of a strange thing this week that happened, but it happened. It's the random F crystals. They're still around. They're still there.
I mean, they're there. I don't know what you're gonna do with them, but there's that desktop app that you can go in and log into this weird alien-like metaverse, and you can just walk and float around with no challenges or quests or knowing what to do, but you can do it.
You can. All right, so we do have another mint that I think it closed today, or it opens for public. I don't know if it's sold out yet, but we wanted to talk about it at least because it's something different. So we have the 0x drip drop happened today. I think they had an allow sale or pre-sale happened. Now it's open for public. I think I got the website pulled up right here. I can refresh it and see if they're even sold out. Nope, 944 left. So they're still not sold out. Kind of looks like a slow mint. It's a 0.25 price, and it looks like this is. And I don't really know too much about this project. I just looked at it kind of briefly, but it's a they're trying to be like that whole phygital thing, right? Like the digital and physical, and you buy this for 0.25, you get the NFT, but then you're also able to redeem that NFT for an actual physical pair of these 3D glasses, or there's 3 different styles of glasses that you can get.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know, or maybe newer to the NFT space, and or maybe only got into it even when Bored Apes came out, 3D glasses have been a popular trait ever since CryptoPunks, really, and even in games in general, right? Video
Yeah.
games, 3D. Like it's always been a cultural like statement piece in the digital landscape of things, but especially with CryptoPunks with the 3D glasses. And one of the team members behind this, Richard NFTs, basically
Yep.
he owns one of the CryptoPunks with the 3D glasses, and he's had, I think, a high 6-figure offer on his punk that he just completely ignored, and people didn't know if it was fake, you know. Maybe it was an offer for himself, but anyways, that offer was there, and he tweeted out like he would never get rid of his punk. Right, it is his digital identity, and not only does he own the CryptoPunk with the 3D glasses, but he actually wears like a set of 3D glasses himself whenever he makes a public appearance.
He
So
does. He
he wears this
also
anywhere he goes.
listen. This man, if you run into him in at NFT NYC anywhere, he also has like a red shoe and a blue shoe that he wears together. Like he fully embraces the 3D glasses look and has that split red versus blue throughout his whole fit. Basically, it's kind of cool. He really embraces it, and yeah, 3D glasses, whether it's nouns, punks, apes, it's one of those traits that's it always has a little bit extra value because of what it is. Not necessarily because it's more rare than the other traits. It's just because it has that cultural value that people place on it. The same thing with hoodies, right? Like hoodie punks. Like they're so much more expensive, even though there's still there's 300 of them. But yeah, 3D glasses. Is this something going back to this drop? Are you a buyer in this at all, or are you just kind of watching from the sideline?
So the only reason I'm interested, like if this were to come out from a random team, even
Right.
if even if some of our friends come out with this, I'm kind of thinking, eh. But because of the team behind it and their what you would think like their pool is, and the marketing and the outreach that they have, I was actually interested, and I still plan to mint, but I thought it would have been sold out by now. But they did have issues uploading their allow list. But anyways, it should be in the public sale, so I thought it would have been sold out by now. I'm still interested. The way it works is that there's 3 colors, right? There's black, there's white, and then there's transparent. But there's an additional 2 levels that you could technically mint, meaning that there's a reveal, there's a trait that you reveal. One is a multi-choice, or there's a choice. So if you mint that one, you get to select which color you want. And then if you mint a gold digital one, right, a gold set,
Right.
you actually get to redeem all 3 colors from the physical of the physicals. So again, to reiterate, there's black, white, transparent. These things aren't too innovative, right? There's nothing in the lenses themselves. I mean, they are just 3D, they're
Yeah.
shades, but they have like a magnetic snap on it, and those have been around for quite a while. So literally, the only thing that they have going for them is that it's a limited supply. Um, Technically, the only one like it out there right now. It could
Right.
easily be copied, but then the actual brand behind the team and the brand behind the glasses. So first to market, I guess, in a way. And then, yeah, that's about it. But 0.25, a little bit of a steep mint price, but it's not 10,000 of them, right? There's only
Yeah.
11 or something like that.
I think if my like Forever Ape had 3D glasses, right, I'm probably a buyer at this. But I've never had a PFP that's had the 3D glasses trait. I've never really associated with it, so because of that, I'm not really interested. But maybe somebody is because of that, and I don't think I'm buying this from. If you're looking at this thinking like, hey, maybe it's a good flip, I will not buy it for a flip.
Yeah, I
No.
think it's just if it's something you want, it's like a novelty item, right?
Yeah.
And then again, like maybe if the team members behind this go ahead and go on to other projects, releasing other projects, and they somehow say like, okay, we'll give priority access to 0x strip. That's the other play that you can make on this, but really it's just, hey, do you want stupid but cool 3D glasses. For
Yeah.
me, I actually do. I own a Clonex that has 3D glasses.
Yeah, there you go.
So
Yeah. And some people may look at this thinking like, what do you mean the floor is 0.72 on OpenSea and it's only a 0.25 mint? But there's been 0 sales, so you can't really you can't really take that into account yet because the sale is still active. It hasn't sold out yet, but we will monitor it. And yeah, it's a fun project. I like this that where it kind of merges the digital and it's basically a product that's probably not meant to be flipped. And I think we need more projects like that. Like not everything is meant to be flipped. Just because it's an NFT doesn't mean you have to buy and then sell higher later. Sometimes it's just you buy it and you're the end buyer. And this feels like one of those products, and I think that's good. I think we need more of that in here. All right. Any final thoughts on 3D glasses on OX Strip?
no, not at all. I can't even remember the last time I watched like a 3D movie.
Oh man, I can't watch 3D movies. It's just I don't know. I prefer just the regular 2D. That's fine for me. The 3D, no thank you. All right, let's move on to, this is a big topic. This is a bigger one, and we're gonna have basically nothing valuable to say about it. So feel free to tune us out because we're not that smart. So this was a big topic across not just NFTs, but really crypto and across the whole board. And this is bigger than NFTs. It's a very small subset that actually affects NFTs. But we're talking about the whole Tornado Cash banning. It was sanctioned. So what happened this week was the United States government sanctioned Tornado Cash, added them to, I forget what the list is called. Actually, I have it pulled up right here. Let me. They added them to this old list. The specially designated nationals and blocked persons list. You can go and find this PDF form. It's 1,914 pages, and it just has a list of entities, governments, countries, or just individuals of, hey, you, as a U.S. citizen, you are not allowed to deal with these people, right? Yo, Henry, yeah, sorry, yeah, go and thanks for stopping by, but go and put us on mute and just come back later. But yeah, so this happened, and what's funny about this, I mean, it's not really funny, but I pulled this up and because I was kind of curious, like how official like it is, and like this is like the official document. And if you go onto the page and we just do the Control F, look up tornado, and it's gonna search, and on page 1558. There it is, Tornado Cash. I made the list, followed by all these other ETH addresses that they've added as well. And what this means for us is we can't associate or have any interaction with these with Tornado Cash or these addresses at all. Not even accidentally, because technically, even if you unknowingly associate with it or get something from it, you can still face up to like 30 years in prison, which is kind of crazy. So what are your thoughts on this? This kind of swept the crypto news for the last few days.
Honestly, I was surprised that it didn't happen a lot sooner because Tornado Cash has been out there for quite a while now. And not only that, but we know that, if you use Tornado Cash, does that make you a nefarious actor or a bad person? Absolutely not. But if you look at the proportion of people who use Tornado Cash and whether they mean to circumvent laws or do, malicious attempts, I'd say a large majority of them, that was their user base, right? So I'm kind of shocked that it took them this long to do something about Tornado Cash, but at the same time, Tornado Cash is built on Ethereum, which is like a decentralized network. And so how can you ban Tornado Cash when they don't have control over what's done on the network? Yeah. Right. And that's what a lot of our viewers may be asking right now. Is like, how is it possible to ban something that nobody has control over?
That's the crazy thing, because the rest of this list, it's individuals and it's like government entities. This is the first time it's like they're literally sanctioning a code. Like at the end of the day, it's just a code, right? And they're sanctioning like, hey, you can't interact with this code. It's so weird, and Jay Henry, I think you're fine if you did it, if you worked with it in the past, you're okay. It's basically from since the time they sanctioned it moving forward, you can't. But that still affected people because people had USDC and DAI and with like Circle, and as soon as that happened, Circle immediately froze the USDC in those accounts and they couldn't access it. So even if people were just holding it and waiting to interact with it. Circle froze those assets and it affected people that worked with it in the past. So it's kind of, I don't know, it's weird. It's a weird time. I don't really know enough about the legal part of it, but we've already seen the trolls come through. Yeah. Leave it to crypto Twitter, leave it to this whole space to find some way to troll it. And there's one person that basically got a list of celebrity doxed ETH addresses and Tornado cashed them 0.1 ETH to every single one. You've got like Randy Zuckerberg, Beeple, Shaq. You got Fallon's on here. You got Puma. All these people were sent 0.1 ETH from Tornado Cash. Basically, this person was like, "All right, let's see what really happens," and kind of like, I guess I don't know, because technically. Hey, Fallon could go to jail for 30 years now. He's associated unknowingly with a sanctioned entity, and according to law, they could prosecute him. So it's gonna be curious to see how that actually plays out, and what if there's like it's gonna be something to watch and to see the follow up on, and it's something I want to get more educated on the actual law part of it and look into it, so I feel like I can understand it more. But it's gonna be interesting to follow.
Yeah, I heard that like they're tracking IPs, right? They're notifying ISP providers as well to not allow us to access Tornado Cash. And people are like, why don't you just VPN from another country, use Tornado Cash? But at the end of the day, like regular normal users, we're gonna be using centralized exchanges at some point, right? To either take money out, put money in, and then that's the power of the blockchain, is that there's always going to be a log, right? A ledger of transactions, and whenever that Tornado Cash, from the announcement, from the ban, is recognized in there and then attached to your address somehow, associated with your address, like you're gonna have to be able to speak for that at some point. So sure, can you do VPN and use Tornado Cash service still? Absolutely. Like there's nothing that's gonna stop you from it, but you're gonna have to answer to the man at some point.
Yeah, there's already been a lot of outcry for it, so I wonder if there's anything that's going to happen, like if it's something's going to be amended or removed. Like I don't know, because I see the argument all the time. People are, a lot of people get paid in ETH, and they don't want their employer knowing or whoever knowing what they spend that money on, so they'll Tornado Cash. They'll basically be paid into one wallet, sent to Tornado Cash, withdraw it from their actual wallet, where their employer can't track it, so then they don't know what they're spending money on, or what they're buying or whatever. So it's kind of like I don't know if there's like a whole like free, like I don't know. It's this huge deal, and we're starting to really see kind of the regulation come down on crypto, and this. Plus sickos, I was about to bring this up as well, plus the new 85,000 IRS agents. I mean, hey, they're coming. Who do you think they hired those for? I probably got one at my door. I got a guest room set up ready for my IRS agent to move in to go through everything. We're ready to go.
Yeah, I know some of the people who were hired as IRS agents, and let me tell you, I ain't got nothing to worry about. Okay.
I did put in the Discord, like, I mean, is there a deal that we can work out? Can I contact the IRS? Like, hey, hire me on as one of your agents and kind of forgive my, go easy on my taxes a little bit, and I'll help you in the NFT area. Can we make some kind of deal? I feel like we could, right?
Yeah, I'm giving them names, bro. I don't care.
Yo, if you're in our chat right now, I'm sorry. I gotta look out for me,
Every man for himself.
Yeah, we got bills to pay. But all right, any final thoughts about this whole situation?
Not at all. Don't use Tornado Cash. Don't be that guy. Don't try to get around it. I mean, it's just not worth the hassle that you probably have to go through at some point, whether it's in less than a year, 3 years, 5 years. You just don't want to have to deal with some type of audit, especially a crypto audit, when we've been as degen as we have the last two years. So, just don't let yourself do that.
Yeah.
Just deal with it. And find another way to mask your money.
Absolutely. Well, let's go back into the NFT world, and we had a big sale. We had not just a big sale. You know, like in your mind, what's a big sale for an NFT? Like for you, probably like maybe maybe like 50 to 60 ETH for you. For our chat, maybe it's like 2 to 3 ETH. and for
I'd say over 500,000 is like a big sale.
$500,000 or ETH. Okay,
$500,000.
Well, bigger than that. We had a sale. We had a huge sale that happened this week, and it was for this mutant ape. We had a mega mutant, the mega trippy sold this week. I don't know if it's pronounced Leor or Liar.eth ended up buying it. And he bought it for, came out that it was around 2,300 ETH. So basically close to $4 million he spent and bought the mega trippy. I mean, sheesh. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I could never fathom spending that much on it, but people got that money, and hey, you know, props to them. If you got that money, you want to spend it, go for it. Yeah, free.
Free.
Yeah, absolutely, 100% free. Should have been more. Definitely, that man definitely fished it for 4 million. He could have held out for 4.1.
I don't understand, dude. Like sure, the mega mutants, they are the best mutants in the game. They're probably some of the best PFPs in the game, to be honest. Like over Genesis Bored Apes, over Punks, like they're probably some of the best looking profile pictures out there. But at the same time, like that's not enough reason for me to spend more than I don't even know 150,000 on one. Much less, like 4 million. That's wild.
That is wild. That's crazy. And to think that like these mutants were selling for, like, before they even popped off, the megas were selling for like 200 to 300 ETH early on, and now they're selling for 10 times that. Like if you bought a mega early on, which we actually had someone in the Shilliverse Discord mint one, they were the first sale. They sold it for I think 220 ETH at the time, which was a huge win. But if you bought that, I mean, it's a 10x. You know, actually, I mean, probably not, because ETH was worth more at the time than it is now. But regardless, we're just talking in ETH terms, because ETH's about to go to 10K anyways. We got the merge, we got the purge, we got the splurge, we got all the urges coming. ETH's going to 10K. But yeah, I mean, that's a huge sale. I don't know. Obviously, me as a cheetah ape, I hate it. It's way too much. This mega trippy is worth probably maybe a Happy Meal from McDonald's and a couple bucks or something. It's not worth that much. Definitely not the mega cheetah ape, which I would understand. But if this sold for 4 million, I mean, other megas got to sell for at least twice that, right? So I don't know. I do wonder, and I don't know much about the megas, if they're any different than usual, because I know for our normal apes we got free IP, you know, like that, like we got the, like, hey, you own the IP to your ape, all that fun stuff. We already know that. Is it the same thing for megas? Do you know off the top of your head? Or did Bored Apes, like if you own a mega mutant, do you own the IP to that, or did Yuga kind of, like, you know, make those like the exception, kind of like how Pixelbolt has done with the core meta heroes?
As far as I know, it's the same.
Okay.
Yeah, that you own all IP and licensing rights for that mutant.
Yeah, so maybe there's something that you can do with the megas, because they are just that more prestigious than any other ape. Like even the gold apes, like they're worth more than all the gold apes. Like these are the most valuable assets in the Yuga ecosystem. So if you do own that IP, maybe there's something you can do down the road to help recoup that and make it worth it. But I mean, hey, if you're just a pure collector, props to this guy for picking up his you know, actual grail, like a legit grail.
Yeah, so I put up a poll in the chat. So if you're in the Twitch chat, sorry YouTube and Twitter, but if you're in the Twitch chat, there is a live poll right now. Would you buy this mega mutant for $4 million? You have three options: yes, or yes, you would spend 4 million, but for a different PFP, or no, absolutely not.
And let's assume you have the funds. Like obviously, right now, none of us are spending 4 million. But
I mean, if you might.
Yeah, okay, BSB. There's one person in the chat that can do it. But yeah, if you had the funds, would you? It looks like hell no is so far the winner. We've got a couple yeses, some yes for a different one. If you do say yes for a different one, which mega would you buy? Is there a favorite mega that you like? And Jeremy, what are your thoughts for the trippy mega? Is this where do you rank this among the Mega Mutants?
All right, yeah, I was about to say I would never, ever spend 4 million on a single NFT. First of all, but if I had to, if somebody forced me to spend 4 million on an NFT, it would, yeah, it would have to be from the Genesis Board Apes or from the Mega Mutants. Probably the Mega Mutants, and I think I'm gonna have to go with either the Swamp one or the Gold one. Trippy looks good and all. Like I just think like the Swamp or the Gold, they just, I don't know, they're calling my name, man. Like those are pretty sick.
Yeah. Okay. I'm totally. Can we ban him totally saying DMT? That's
Yeah.
that's crazy. I mean, Trippy's okay, but I mean DMT is okay.
That's out of fuck.
I obviously there's still one to be revealed, and we think it's the Cheetah Mega. So I'm looking forward to that one. That would be the one I would spend the 4 million on if I had to, and that's probably if I had my choice of any NFT. That's probably what I would choose. You just answered the same question. Why are you doing the whale thing? Come on now. I don't have $4 million to spend. I mean, you can check my wallets. I don't listen. We ain't got that money, but I did put an offer in on Maki's Mega Mutant, just because that man's kind of going crazy. He's
liquidating.
He's liquidating. He's making some rash decisions. He's selling a laser eye suit and diamond grill mutants for the floor prices. So I put an offer on his Mega Mutant, just thinking like, hey, you know what? If he throws enough of a fit, maybe he's drunk and he just wants to send it and just takes the highest offer on his Mega. We'll take that. And he's got the noise for it. I have a noise for Ape. So maybe that'll work out. But yeah, I don't think he's that dumb. So we can move on from this. I am kind of surprised, I will say, because I kind of thought like I get the allure of someone buying like the vials to like the M3 vial to reveal these. At one point they were selling for thousands of ETH, right? And I kind of understood that because you could build an event around that, do a lot of marketing around that. But then I feel like in my mind, once they were actually used, I thought like the value of a Mega would be a lot cheaper than the actual vial itself. So I am surprised to see this big of a sale for a revealed Mega Mutant.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, anything over 6 figures, I'm always gonna be surprised. And just, yeah, I don't know how people. I don't get it, bro. It just seems like such a bad move for me.
Hey, if you got that money, I mean, what else are you gonna spend it on?
Not?
Why not?
Can't take it with you.
Would you rather have a nice house, or would you rather have this as your avatar in the metaverse? I mean, come on now.
Would you rather have a city, or would you rather have?
All right. So sticking in terms with Ape news, let's go ahead and move on to. We had a DAO proposal. Let me pull it up. So we had, well, it's not. It was a proposal. It's not up for a vote yet, but it looks like it may. It looks like it may be. It's got some headway. So Magic Eden, which for those of you that don't know, Magic Eden is they're the top Solana marketplace, and they've recently branched out. They announced last week. We talked about it on last week's show that Magic Eden is starting to branch out to Ethereum NFTs, and then this week. This was 2 days ago. So on the 9th, they added a post to the ApeCoin blog for the DAO proposals, and they had an AIP idea, and they proposed building a marketplace for apes, and it's gonna be hosted on Magic Eden, and they have a whole thing where if you're going to be able to use ApeCoin, all this stuff. It's going to have transaction fees that are going to basically some of the transaction fees will go back to the DAO. So it's a way that adds funds back to the DAO, because we've seen, I feel like 75% of the DAO proposals we've seen has been people, they've been asking for money, like, hey, we need $150,000, we need $10,000, we need this much money, and they're basically sucking money from the DAO without offering any kind of return to the DAO. Magic Eden offered the kind of opposite. They said this would be completely free to the DAO, no cost at all to build it, and also some of the selling fees will go back to the DAO. So it's going to be kind of a consistent revenue for the DAO to get more ApeCoin, which I think is kind of, it's definitely smart from a marketing perspective for Magic Eden. What are your thoughts on this? I know we're always kind of iffy about the DAO proposals and everything, so I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
Well, Yeah, I mean, overall, I'm kind of excited about this. The other thing is this a first? Is it very innovative? Like, not at all. A couple other people and influencers have already tried making other marketplaces. There's X Marketplace, it looks rare. Even Blur, Blur is going to be another marketplace created by a few developers and other influencers. But what is different is that Magic Eden has proposed this after they have already done the work, not only for some of this ape marketplace, but they have been existing and they are a serious and large competitor already.
Exactly. Yeah.
Before submitting the proposal. It's not like, hey, trust us to do the job that we've never done before or that we think that we can do.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, here's our portfolio, right? Here's our resume. Here's actual proof that we know how to build a marketplace, and it's heavily used and loved and utilized by users in this space already. Now and then they're proposing it. So for me, that's a huge positive. I always like to see somebody who's put their own money and time where their mouth is and have built something before asking for additional. Not and the fun thing is that they're not even asking for money to build it necessarily. Like, it's no upfront building fee. It's just marketplace fees. So
Yeah, they don't need money for servers. They don't need money for website costs. Like, they already have everything. Like, it's just, yeah, they just basically want the go ahead to say, can we kind of partner together and give you guys back some funds and kind of have your blessing, basically. And I think that's a big part that's missed. I've seen a lot of people talking against this, trying to push other marketplaces or other ideas or people that have put up proposals. But like you said, Magic Eden is they're the king of their chain right now. Like, they're the king of Solana. They're the OpenSea of Solana, which, the king of Solana is, take that what you will. But regardless, building a marketplace, having it run functionally, without any issues or with minimal issues, to be able to fix it, having a team in place, having the infrastructure already there, like, that's such a big deal that people are overlooking with this. And instead of just, a lot of people are just getting kind of emotional on who it is, like, oh, well, they're just too centralized, it's basically OpenSea, it's, why don't we use this marketplace where this person's an ape and they can just build it. It's like, well, they don't have we don't know what theirs is going to look like or if it's even going to be successful. And this is as sure of a thing that you can have, in my eyes.
And then, well, I mean, are we jumping into what came from this afterwards?
I have it pulled up. Do you want to go into that now?
Sure. Yeah, we'll do it. I mean, Magic Eden was in the news last week, by the way, just because they're going to support Ethereum NFTs, cross-chain purchases, blah, blah, blah. And then they do the ape proposal. But then, because ApeCoin DAO, the Twitter and the website, whatever, like, they retweeted not even the proposal. It's not even like a full-on proposal yet where we can vote on it. Is an idea to the proposal. They retweeted that, and
how dare they?
Was not too pleased.
I cannot believe they retweeted that. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So obviously you can look at this now. All of the tweets are deleted. He keeps posting new tweets, and then like an hour or two later, he deletes them because he posted one more this morning, like retweeting them, saying like this is like calling them out again, and then now it's gone already. So, but I mean, he was throwing a fit, Machi Big Brother, and the reason why is because he's invested in X Marketplace, and they've put a proposal together to be kind of the marketplace for apes. You select taking ape and everything, and having low marketplace fees for sellers and buyers, and that wasn't voted on. It was just kind of left there, and that was it. So once ApeCoin DAO retweeted the Magic Eden post, Maki just threw a fit. He retweeted them, subtweeted them, everything about them. Like, just was going crazy. It was like just throwing a fit. Like, like these classic. You can already just picture like Machi's a well-off guy, right? Like, he's very wealthy. He's pretty rich. And whenever rich people don't get their way, oh man, that they get mad. They're not used to being told no. They're not used to not getting their way. He didn't get his way. And how he responded to that was, after posting apes strung together, a couple hours after this, he started dumping his apes at the floor and taking offers on them. He tweeted that he sold 47 apes. It was like 12 apes at the time, and these are mutants. So So he sold 12 or 13 mutants that night. Took WETH offers on all of them, and some of them were, one was a suit mutant, which the floor was at like 30 plus ETH, and he took half the price for it. One was a Diamond Girls mutant. He took one. He even took more offers today. Like he's still taking offers. Like one was a Red Laser Eyes mutant. He took an offer for a floor today. So he's just throwing a fit. And not only did he sell all these mutants, he also sold a million. A million ape coin, not $1 million worth of ape coin. He sold 1 million ape coin, just completely dumped it all because he didn't get his way. He wanted out of the DAO, and the price tanked like 20 cents, and then it kind of recovered. So I will say that's kind of nice, like seeing one of the biggest holders dump their whole bag, and the price just like blinked a little bit and then recovered, and that was it. So it was pretty healthy. I feel like seeing that was pretty good. But yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts on this? Is it warranted? Is it just kind of like I don't? Is it a non-issue? Like, what do you think?
Well, two things, or maybe three things. One, I noticed you don't follow Maki. Why is that?
I mean, he's dumping his apes, I've never I mean, a lot of these people that are just like throw their weight around, like, I don't know, I'm just not a fan of I'm just not a fan of how these people carry themselves. I've always thought Maki's been a grifter. He's always kind of sucked ETH and liquidity from the apes, like trying to like sell his projects. Everyone in our Discord is pretty much familiar with what's that? What was the mud game? I forgot what it was. The Heroes of Evermore, right? Yep. Like that was one of his big projects it's dead basically. Like he's just a grifter, man. And then he had the whole thread from ZachX bot, like exposing him for sucking, like basically getting like 22,000 ETH from the ecosystem in like a very sketchy way, and he just has a history. His reputation is it's not great, and the way he carries himself, it's just I'm just not a fan. So he doesn't deserve the follow. Plus, look at his following. You're telling me this man ape follows ape? Come on, get out of here.
Yo, Von Schiller subscribed for 6 months in a row. Shout out Schiller. But I agree with you on the Maki Big Bro for most of that. It's just what's his name? I put out there a report, right? Like an investigation, like some detective work about how Maki came to have a majority of his wealth, right? Yeah. And I'm not going to say that's 100% true, because did I do it myself? Did I do the research myself? Absolutely not. Did the puzzle look believable enough for me to kind of not really want to associate with Maki Big Brother or the projects that he comes out with? Yeah, absolutely. Right. So I'm not going to say he's guilty of anything, but at the same time, the way that he kind of carries himself, at the same time, like you said, 469 following, when he's been a day one OG just like the rest of us.
And so the way that he was just like carrying himself out, like during this whole Twitter fit, he was like lashing out against Fry's Frame, who's a mod in the Bored Ape Discord since I think, how long has Fry's been a mod there? Like day one, at least. I mean, first week or two. He's been there since the beginning, a mod. And listen, being a mod in the Bored Ape Discord, I don't think that's very easy. You get tons of trolls, you get tons of complaints, you get all this issue. Like you're having to deal with a lot. And then Machi says, like, what he says to Fries, and like they're having a little Twitter fight, and he says, well, what have you done for Bored Apes? You've done, like, saying like he's done nothing for the apes. And then in Machi's eyes, if you haven't done anything monetarily, if you haven't swept floors, if you haven't given out thousands of dollars, then in his eyes you haven't done anything. He doesn't really he doesn't consider the groundwork much in my eyes. At least that's what that tweet kind of showed me.
It's freeze. Yeah. The other thing is that he was. He's kind of like,
my bad. Yeah, it is freeze.
he's blaming other people, other parties, other marketplaces, all right, people of influence for the failure, kind of lack of use for X, right? When really, I mean, the only people that you have to blame for something like that is yourself or your team that's behind X, right? The marketing, the approach that they've done there.
Yeah.
Looks Rare came out actually at the same time as X, and look how popular that they've become. Yeah. So you can't really place the blame outwardly in that situation, and for him to do it outwardly and this to this scale or to this measure, and to go against ApeCoin DAO, for probably the people on the board aren't even the ones retweeting stuff on Twitter in the first place. Like, it's probably just some intern, right?
Yeah, it's probably
hey,
fries.
cool, Ape Marketplace, right? Let's retweet it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was pretty childish, but at the same time, I don't know if we could have expected anything else, anything better from Maki. You know, we've seen him go at it with a few other people on the timeline before, and for me, I don't really care about it. I don't like drama to begin with. I just think it's funny, and it goes to show like the level of maturity in the space, and the people that others look up to, right? Like, a lot of people follow Maki Big Bro, and they copy trade him, and they think he's one of the biggest, whales and traders and best ones ever. And it just goes to show, like, just be careful who you trust, right?
Yeah. I guess my whole thing too is like, what are you trying to gain out of this? Like, the way you're acting, the way you're dumping your apes on the floor, like, what are you trying to gain? Like, if your whole thing is against the ApeCoin DAO Council, why are you dumping your mutants at the floor? Because the only thing the only people that hurts are the actual holders themselves, because it's taking up that floor liquidity, and it's lowering the price and having that bad look on it. So that's not affecting the DAO at all. like I just don't understand what you're trying. Like, I don't know. It's just one of those rich man fits. It's just like, hey, I didn't get what I wanted. It didn't go the way I wanted. So here we go.
Here we go.
Why are you okay?
And I like one of the comments that I'm sending you some pics from one of the merch things that came out today.
I see that.
But the other thing that somebody had commented, like, bro, you don't even use your own marketplace, and it's just all his activity on OpenSea, bro.
Yeah. Where did he? There was no offers on X to accept, so he had to accept them on OpenSea. Yeah, that's a good shout out. All right, we can move on from Maki. We don't need to spend that much time on him. Let's go ahead and go to something that's near and dear to our hearts. Not Maki again. Grails. So we have Grails Season 2. We talked about this last week, and we've got more updates. They've released some more of the artwork of some of these hidden artworks that we can see now. Obviously, we still don't know who the artists are. We won't know until everything's minted out. So do you want to, I guess for those that weren't here last week, can you explain what Grails is, basically?
Yeah, very briefly. Yeah. Grails 2 is essentially a very quick month-long little game theory about high-value art. When I say high value, I mean more than like 0.2 Ethereum, right? Something that's worth more than typical art blocks. Essentially, there are 25 art pieces that come out, and they're being revealed every other day, but we don't know who the artist is. And so at the end of the month, then they have a live stream. The proof team has a live stream to reveal who the artist is of these pieces. And then as that's going on for the month long, we actually have mint passes, either proof holders or Grail traded Moonbirds. They got airdropped a mint pass for the Grails 2. And then so you get to see live as it happens, as people choose which art piece that they want to mint. So, Grail number 2 might have 5 mints. Grail number 13 might have 500 mints for some reason. But you can see that going on, and you can say, okay, well, I like the one that's more popular, the one that has 500 mints. But I think this one, because of its limited quantity and the way it speaks to me, or who I think this artist is, that's why I'm going to go ahead and mint this one. So it's kind of like a little fun gamified art collecting process that goes on, and it's hosted by Proof. And it's meant to essentially reward holders, and Proof started as a high tier art collective, actually, for those of you who don't know. And then they've done this before. So Grails season 1 happened last year, and then this is a next iteration of it. So Grails number 2.
Yeah, and here's the Grails number 1, so you can kind of see, like, it's already revealed now of who the artists are, right? There was a Gary V, there was Alexis Ohanian, there's Hackatow, Larva Labs. I think the Hackatow one, not Hackatow. It was I think what is Real Choices? Was this X copy?
Yeah, I believe, yeah.
It just doesn't say X copy on it, but
that is him.
that was one of the easier ones to kind of call out. But yeah, so you can kind of see, how it's going to look in the end. Right now we're in the middle of it. Oh, which one did you pick out for?
I had a Dream Loaf. I went with Dream Loaf because it reminded me of Maggie.
Shout out Hunar.
If you don't know who Maggie is, then I don't know what you're doing here, but Maggie is Hunar's cat.
Well, there you go. All right, so right now we are in Grails 2, and if you wanted to participate, if you didn't get dropped, if you're not a proof member, if you don't have a Grail Moonbird, then you can go to OpenSea, buy a Mint Pass. Right now they are at a 3.3 floor, and this is not me saying you should. I would, if you like the art, then go for it, but I wouldn't do this as like an investment.
Well, this is also a change from the first season because they've made it easier and safer for people to get into the Grails 2, because Grails Season 1, they did a snapshot. So that wallet that was eligible to mint a Grails, that's the only way that you could mint and purchase one.
Okay, this is the first time they used like a minting pass kind of?
Yeah, so people were like,
Smart.
hey, I don't feel like transacting on my hardware wallet, or I wanted to even sell my spot because these pieces didn't really speak to me, and I'm taking the fun away from somebody else who gets to choose which one they want. So they went ahead and made it into a mint pass, which is a no-brainer. So I'm glad that they made that change.
So we do have some new updates since last week. I think last week there was only 4 or 5 revealed. It was still early on. So now we've got, I think number 5 is new, 6 and 7 are new. I think 11, 16, 8. Like a lot of these are newer.
Number 7 was just today.
Yeah, number 7. Let's see, go back to it's like binary code. So I'm curious about your thoughts on it now that we've seen more. Do any of them stick out to you more? Or also with the chat, out of these, what number kind of sticks out to you? What are you vibing with? And I know we got some art people out there. I know we got JVB in the chat. I know we got Jay Henry. I know we got Hunar. Listen, this is also a guessing game. Do y'all see any artwork here that you're like, hey, that looks a lot like so and so's NFT work or their artwork? Because I think it's also like you said, it's gamified. We're trying to guess who the artists are, because at the end of the day, you probably want to choose the one that's going to have the most value. Unless you just see a piece that you're like, hey, I just really vibe with this one and I want this just to have. But
I understand you leaving him totally out, but man, to leave Q-Dog out after all the art that he's collected, it's a little disrespectful. Sorry about that, Q-Dog.
Yeah, my bad.
But no, for me, I think it's number 16. Yeah, 16 with the rolling ball.
Okay.
And then scroll down one more, number 23. Those two are my favorite so far. If I had to pick today, I'd have a tough time choosing between those two.
Yeah, I like 23 a lot. I like that one. This is a new one. I think, was this today or this was recently?
This is the one that Hunter, I feel like, would mint for sure.
Yeah,
if you had to choose.
It's interesting. I mean, yeah. I'm trying to think, like, none of these stick out to me where I'm like, oh, this looks like this artist. This one kind of gives me like maybe Sabbath vibes. Like Sabbath's pretty big on, like, I can almost see like kind of like that. I can kind of almost see like that skull shape that Sabbath has going on. So outside of that, though,
like the Crypto Mories.
Yeah, like the Mories kind of, because Sabbath has a pretty similar like look to that, so it kind of reminds me of that. But nothing else really. Like I can't like we talked about. I'm pretty sure I know who this one is. We talked about that one last week, but outside of that, like none of them really stick out to me. But my favorites, I think I agree. Like number 23 right now is my favorite. Is there much talk? I don't spend a lot of time in the Proof Discord or the Moonbirds Discord. Is there like a channel in there that people are trying to like guess this, like work together to find out who is behind what piece?
Yeah, and they actually made a role for people who own Grails 2 mint passes.
Okay.
So that way you could actually do that. You don't have to be a part of the Proof Collective or own a Grail Moonbird. It's if you own the mint pass. So shout out to them for doing that as well. That makes conversation and exploring and investigating a lot easier within the community.
Coffee says, "Oh no, Sabbath." But Coffee, you've collected Sabbath before. I know you have some pieces. Does this also kind of remind you of their work as well, or I may just be seeing something that's not there? I don't know. But yeah, I think I need to hop into that channel in the Discord and start just kind of following some of the internet sleuths and trying to see who's who.
They're good, bro. They're good.
Did you follow it closely
time.
for Grails 1? Did people pretty much have down a lot of the pieces?
Yeah, I'd say probably like more than half of Grails 1, like pretty early on. They nailed exactly who it was gonna be.
I bet no one guessed Gary Vee. they
No.
probably didn't think he was an option.
Nope, nobody even had Gary Vee on their list.
Did
as an
anyone
artist.
was anyone onto this one knowing it was Larva Labs?
I think they were actually.
Yeah.
I think there was some speculation that this could be Larva Labs or another party, but I think somebody actually hit that.
Gotcha. All right. Well, we will talk more about this. We actually have minting. The minting starts in 4 days, so by the time we go live next for our weekly recap a week from today, we'll be able to mint our grails. And I think I think we're still going to be within the window. So maybe next week we actually live mint. We choose our pieces live on stream and decide what we're going to go with. But yeah, it's gonna be. We still have it's about half of the collection left to go. So we'll see. Any final thoughts about Grails?
Not at all. Moving on.
Moving on, we have a new thread from OpenSea came out last night. Basically, they're updating, and they said it themselves. They're addressing the elephant in the room. It's about the stolen asset. Their whole stolen in quotes asset policy and everything, and they're revamping it, kind of. I don't know if this is going to take into effect for previous ones or just moving forward, but basically, and it says it later down here. This is the big tweet right here. So for all reports going forward, if we don't receive a police report within 7 days, they will re-enable buying and selling for the reported item. So what that mean for us? So if someone's item gets stolen, they report it on OpenSea for being stolen. After that, they have to go file a police report, like follow the steps you normally would, like if your car got stolen or something else got stolen of value. And if you don't, and OpenSea doesn't get any of those reports, then they're going to unfreeze the asset. So what are your thoughts on this change? Do you think this is a good change? Do you think it's kind of doesn't really matter, or what?
I don't know if it shifts the tide a whole lot, but I do like that they are trying to listen, and there's actually more than 5 employees there to be able to tackle this issue.
Yeah, there's 7.
Yeah, 7. So at least a couple of those people are working on this. But the thing is it's done so much damage to their credibility, right? And to their brand and to their marketplace. And we've seen them actually lose out on quite a bit of volume. Are they still the kings? Absolutely. But they have lost out on quite a bit of volume to other marketplaces in terms of being able to transact on those flagged or disputed items. So is this something that they have to figure out for sure? Absolutely. Is this the final solution? I don't think it is, and I don't think that it should be. I think there's still a ways to go, but
Yeah.
it does give you a little bit of insight, and it does get the heat off their back a little bit in terms of people are always just telling them like, don't flag, but it's so much more than that. There's like little minute issues that you have to think about, and as well as legalities of the whole thing, and the way that you facilitate those transactions that must be thought about when you're as big as OpenSea.
Yeah, and I mean, you kind of have to understand it from their point of view too, which I get, because and they explain it in that thread. They say, in the U.S. you can't knowingly sell a stolen asset. So if something's reported to them as stolen, like at that point it's on them. They can't sell it, right? As soon as they know about it. But instituting this extra step of, now they have 7 days to get the police report. I think that's good, because I think there are a lot of false reports. I think there's a lot of false reports. I think it's going to remove some of that. One thing that they don't address, they don't bring up, and they haven't answered any questions, because there were some comments replying to this saying, hey, what about previous assets? What about there's Bored Ape that was, it's been marked for stolen for the last 6 months. Is that one is that one going to stay stolen or stay marked or stay flagged or
retroactive?
Or they haven't mentioned that at all. So, and my question to you now let's get ethical, because if that's the case, like let's say hypothetically this is retroactive. Like any assets they have that doesn't have an active police report on it is now unflagged, and so. I mean, the unethical part, ethical part, we can get into it. Is there an opportunity here to maybe go buy some assets at the floor that maybe have a higher value given their traits, hoping that it gets unflagged after this new policy is instated, and then now you can make a little bit of a profit from it? What Absolutely. Is the ethical standpoint on that? We're for it.
Absolutely, I'm going out there. I'm taking all the deals. I mean, I've been on LooksRare the last 2 weeks actually looking for some of the suspicious items. Flagged items from OpenSea. Even Blur does a good job for those of you who aren't in the Blur beta. Shout out to Harry Swan. That is a gem type of website where you can sweep or get additional analytics, blah blah blah, about fast listing times for marketplace items. But yeah, I've been on there and I've literally been looking for assets that are below the floor. BFF is a specific collection that I could think of that I just looked at a few days ago. Right, I was looking at BFF bracelets, certain charms, and I'm like, whoa, this one's half the price of the floor. Why is that? Right, it was marked as stolen on OpenSea, but I literally don't care because I don't really intend to resell it at a later point in time. It's just for like snapshots to happen at a future date. But is that worth it for me to buy something half the floor price if I know it's stolen? Absolutely.
There we go.
No doubt.
FBI is coming to Yo Jeremy's house to arrest him as we speak. He is buying knowingly stolen assets. How dare you? We would never advertise that. But I mean, looking at the Bored Ape floor, Bored Apes are the ones that are famous for getting their stuff stolen. Even though it happens on a higher percentage than other collections, it's just these are the ones that are the most valuable, so they catch the headlines more often. But we got some Vibras down here, like this pink rabbit with the Hawaiian shirt and the unshaven pipe, stolen. A lot of DMT stolen. We got like the super clean ape right here with the kind of like the Jenkins shirt stolen. So I mean, if they do retroactively remove a lot of that, I mean there are going to be a lot of deals. But you may not, if you do that, maybe use a separate wallet, and because the community may not be too fond of how that may look. So. Coffee, I did not see that. Blue Beam sold for 640k, 650k. I haven't seen that yet. We can pull that up, I guess. Let me look at the Bored Ape sales bot.
Free?
Yeah, free.
Did you had a Blue Beams at some point, right?
Why you gotta bring that up? I minted the Blue Beams and I sold it. It was like I sold it for 1.5 ETH.
I mean, I think Schiller had a Blue Beams.
Oh man, if this ape I pull up is the one that like I minted, I'm gonna be so upset.
No. Yeah.
I don't see it on the. How soon was it? I don't see anything on the Twitter bot for the last like few hours, unless it's not there yet. Let me see. Oh well, we'll keep there it is. Let's see. All right. 300 there. Yeah, Pimp Coat, the Blue Beams. That is the clean ape, sold for 344 ETH. Sheesh. Oh, that's why, because it sold on X2Y2. That makes sense why it wasn't showing up on any of the on like the Bored Ape sales, but I think that only tracks LooksRare and OpenSea. So it sold on X2Y2 for 344 ETH. I mean, if you got the money, why not?
I like that ape a lot, man.
That's a clean one. That's a nice one. I'm a big fan of that one. That's that is, as we say, free. Yep, free. Cool. All right, so move on. Any final thoughts about the whole OpenSea policy? We kind of gave our thoughts a little bit about it. I think we're wrapped up on it, but I don't know if you have anything else.
One of the things is, my question was immediately, how are they going to verify or validate the police reports? Right? Like, what system are they using? They don't tell us, if there's like a government service or software that they can use to validate the police reports. Can I just Photoshop a police report and say that the asset is stolen in order to
Yeah.
get it frozen? I have no idea.
Well, I would assume that since they're probably like the intermediary of the asset, that they if there's a police report filed, that they probably are in contact with the investigators, since it happened on their marketplace. So I would assume that they would be in touch. So if there's a police report and they try to, let's say, let's say I know you're not in like Dallas County, but let's say you're in Dallas County and they call, there's your ape gets stolen, you file a police report, and then they contact Dallas County and there's no record of it, then they know it's probably a fake one.
But
So I would
thing
assume
is,
that would be the case, but I don't know for sure.
sometimes there's, or a lot of times there's a delay longer than 7 days. Like I've known people who've got guns or cars stolen, and then the report gets filed or completed like 2 months later. So they have their policy if it's not within 7 days. So like, good luck trying to get a large metropolitan police area to report your asset to open.
That's true. I can only imagine though, like if I mean, let's say your ape gets stolen and you go to the police, you go to the police department and you say, hey, I need to report a theft.
Stolen ape.
Someone stole my Bored Ape NFT. They stole these on their phone, and oh man, that would be. I would love to be a fly on the wall for that conversation.
Yeah. Yo, someone stole my CDB. What does it look like?
Oh no! don't show them. Don't do it to them. And that kind of there's a tweet also today from I think it was from Kamol. He's like he's a shit poster, which from Sappy Seals, and he posted he wanted people to post on their Facebook Marketplace their Bored Ape for sale for 150K and just see what comments they got. And I thought, man, that's some good content. I feel like we need to do that because that'd be pretty funny to see the local comments of you trying to sell a picture of an ape for $150,000. All right, moving on. We have, we got the marketplaces going at each other. We already talked about them a little bit. We talked about Magic Eden. We talked about OpenSea. Let's talk about them all together. So last night, Magic Eden put out this YouTube video of them talking about NFTs and differences between Ethereum and Solana. And in the video, one comment that this host makes is, Top Shot is one of the premier NFT collections on Ethereum. Which, first of all, oof, because they're it's obviously on Flow. They're not on Ethereum. And then so in response, OpenSea, they pulled out their troll and did the whole SpongeBob meme letters. Top Shot is notable Ethereum project, and this is what happens when you don't DYOR. And Magic Eden shot back was, oh right, that's why my Top Shot NFTs never get frozen, because OpenSea is famous for freezing assets. So we have them going together, and then we've got Looksrare coming in, just doing the meme of them sitting in the back, just watching the fight going on, and they're just vibing. So, they're on one. This was kind of entertaining to watch and to see it unfold. I mean, do you have any thoughts on this? There's not really anything to break down that's valuable or no alpha or anything, but what are your thoughts on it?
Not a whole lot to break down, but it is kind of funny just to see all these teams going at it, and the fact that we're kind of in this industry where something like this can happen, like outside of GameStop, like you wouldn't really see a lot of big tech companies. You wouldn't see Nike and Reebok and all these other social media accounts doing something like this. So it is kind of funny, and also it's just like, if you're in the know, like a lot of people don't even know who Magic Eden is or who Looksrare is. A lot of people were never involved in Top Shot, so they couldn't even tell you if it's a Dapper or Flow project versus Ethereum. So it's more just kind of like an inside joke, but for the rest of us, and it's funny to see these three big players all in the same thread.
What this kind of reminds me of, but like in a less cringe way? It's this is around Super Bowl time, I think, where we had these huge brands coming into the space, and it was like Budweiser. Who else was it? But there was just that really cringe thread. Maybe it was McDonald's or Domino. It was these big brands, but they were like, they kept saying like, "Welcome, friend, GM friend." Hey, like, it was just like this whole like, yeah, like it was just so weird and like, oh my god, just stop. This I can appreciate because they're just like trolling each other. They're not trying to fit in and use like the weird crypto NFT talk. They're just like, I just imagine this is basically interns going at each other pretty much. Interns got the social media account for the night, and there they go. So hey, I'm here for it because at the end of the day, NFT space, we're all just a bunch of degens that love to troll each other, and I like to see that in our marketplaces.
The same goes as it was in Web 2, that competition is good for the consumer, right?
Yeah. All right, moving on. We have some news from the Cool Cats section, but before we talk about the actual Cool Cats, their actual news, let's talk about what happened with Cool Cats yesterday. So, Cool Cats, there. I guess first, let's show this tweet we have, and then we can put we can fill in the lines. So. Farouk tweeted, "Not allowed to sell for gain, not allowed to sell for loss. Sell shamers are literally the Karens of our space. Reminds me of the one kids in school who used to snitch on others or ask if there's homework at the end of class." What does this refer to? Basically what happened was Farouk didn't get caught, he wasn't trying to hide it, but Farouk started dumping Cool Cats yesterday. Like literally every single one of his cats except one. He was dumping at the floor. He was accepting WETH offers for it less than the floor. Just literally, like, absolutely dumping his cats. Kind of like what Maki was doing with the apes, except not as big of a bag and not worth as much because they were for like 2 ETH, 2.5. Like it was, just completely dumping. And people were calling him out, saying like, "Yo, what are you doing? Why are you selling? Why are you dumping like this? You were like, you're one of the people saw him as one of the faces of the Cool Cats community. Like, what are you doing?"
He was on every single Twitter space since pretty much their sellout.
It's not like he's just some verified person on Twitter that's a holder of them. He was involved in the project at like a more level than just a collector. So what are your thoughts? I have my thoughts, but I want to hear your thoughts first of first of all, Farouk dumping his cats, and also people sell shaming him and his response to it. And do you agree with either? Are you kind of in the middle? You're like, whatever, doesn't really affect me. Do you? What do you think?
First of all, he'd be I forgot the word, but like to think that people wouldn't have a response to this, right? Like wouldn't try to call him out on the dumping, and the way he did it too. It's not like leveling them up, right? Like in terms of kind of like dollar cost averaging out of Cool Cats. He's just completely dumping all of them at one day, and it wasn't even like telling us his feelings over time. I think he did put out a little interview or thread about the way he feels Cool Cat's project is right now and what they should do. But at the same time, it just came as a sudden shock. So it's more about the way that he did it, and then also his expectations of the community to not call him out or to not say something about dumping the Cool Cats.
Yeah, I think we're on the same page then, because I'm not for sell shaming. I think people sell and they should sell all the time, because listen, hey, you got a project, go dump the floor right now. I'm not gonna shame you, but yeah, I'm not for sell shaming. People sell, it happens, and stuff changes in your life. Situations in life changes. Someone needs to sell, and they gotta sell. And hey, I'm not gonna hold it against them, but there are different scenarios. Like, this is not one of those situations. This is, Farouk is someone who was on every single Twitter space, every single town hall that Cool Cats had last year. Whenever they were building the hype, they were getting hyped up. They were on the way to 10 ETH, on the way to 20 ETH. He was on Twitter space. The team brought him up. Like, and it wasn't like they bring up anybody. It was the team. It was Farouk and probably maybe Andrew Wang, right? And they were. He was on Twitter Spaces. He was always hyping them up, talking up the Cool Cats. Always like pushing for 10 ETH. He dumped milk on himself, released a video about it. He had his whole Web 2 me versus Web 3 me, was him all in Cool Cats gear. Like, this man was trying to be the face of Cool Cats, and he was. Everyone, whenever you thought of Cool Cats, you very much thought of Andrew Wang, and you thought of Farouk. If you didn't think of, outside of the team of like Klon and everything. and so whenever you build that reputation, and you kept saying like when milk, I remember on Twitter Spaces he always kept saying when milk, like he was always pushing the team for more information of when stuff's coming, when's it coming. So he was a big reason why people probably felt rushed, or why expectations were so high for the team. And you could make that argument that he's one of the reasons behind why everything was maybe rushed, and those things were high. And now you're here, you haven't, I looked in the Discord, he hasn't said a single word in the Discord since it was like May 1st, or like it was early May. So it's been a few months since you've even been in the Discord, and then now all of a sudden on a random day you just dump all of your cats for the floor. Like you don't even ladder them. You don't try to list one day, then list another the other day, like slowly sell them off. Like that would look better than just completely offloading them. Like after how much you built them up, how much you were the face of them, how much you were, people viewed you as the cool cats person, and now you're just doing this. Like, of course people are going to call you out. You're an idiot if you think they're not going to, and they probably should. And but he's enjoying it. He's loving today. He's trending on Twitter. He's so self-absorbed. He thinks this is a win, and his Rug Radio NFT is pumping because of it. So hey, I mean, I guess props to him. For him, it's no news. It's all press is good press. So I mean, hey, it is what it is. But yeah.
The bad part about it is it really did kind of inflate his villain ego in a way. Yeah. He's like, oh, look, I'm trending. Like, oh, everybody's talking about me. Everybody's talking down on my name and this and that. And it's like, bro, you got like probably 20 bot accounts maybe tweeting at you.
And here we are talking about him too. So I guess it's working. We're falling for the trap. He's trending on NFA. So
my thing is just, even if you're going to do it this way, just do it and let that be the end of it. Like, why do you even have to respond on Twitter? Like, stuff is going to come your way. Why even respond to it? But again, it could be just marketing stuff. And we also don't know what happened behind the scenes, because he definitely has to have a non-disclosure with the Cool Cat team, right? To know about their roadmap, what they're building, what's coming up. And there could have been a dispute. I'm not alleging that. I'm saying that could be something that happened. And this cannot necessarily be him turning his back on the project, but him kind of responding to a conflict that happened within the team.
Yeah, I don't think so though. I don't think he was that deep in the team where he would have like an ND. I think it was just pretty simple. Where, hey, the price is down, milk token's down, this project is in the dumps now, I'm moving on. Like, Farouk changes his conviction as the wind blows, right? It's just he moves on to the next hyped up thing, because at the same time he dumped his cats, he swept the aliens floor and was trying to pump those up. So it's just he's gonna move on to what he's just a typical, like your stereotypical influencer that is just always hyper positive, like this toxic positivity that is not good. Like it's legit toxic positivity, which sounds crazy, but I mean it's a thing. And he just moves on from project to project, and once they're no longer in the green or positive, or they can do anything for him, he goes on to the next one, and that's what he's doing. He's dumping them.
Yeah, he went from a bag pumper to a bag dumper. And honestly, that's the other thing. Is like, if you felt this way and you haven't talked into the server since May, like, why did you not do this a whole lot sooner? And I think he actually acknowledged that, like, that's one of his mistakes was holding on to them so long. But again, I don't know why you have to make it a public ordeal. Like, just do you and be you. That's the end of it. Don't make it a whole scene, and don't kind of whatever.
All right, let's move on. Yeah. It's enough about Maki and enough about Farouk. Enough about all these grifters in the space. So let's talk about now. Let's fud the cool cats, right? After we just kind of defended them, let's go ahead and fud them, right? Let's not let them feel too good. But so today they dropped these new boss quests, Angry Bloom and Ancient Cat Spirit. New boss quests in Coldtopia, and I gotta ask first: did you do any of the first boss quests?
I just watched your streams and a couple of the other guys.
It's pretty exciting, right?
Yeah.
An exciting game of rock paper scissors. Luckily I haven't played these yet. I mean, maybe I'll go live and do this just to see how it is. But we heard from BSB. He confirmed it's no longer rock paper scissors. It's tic-tac-toe.
Tic-tac-toe for
So
the desert one.
yeah, you got
Dusty.
hopefully your tic-tac-toe game is on, because it's no longer rock paper scissors, it's tic-tac-toe. So yeah, there we go. New boss quest. BSB, I did not see the other tweet about the community council. Let me see.
It's a council composed of members of our community who have made significant contributions to the Cool Cats ecosystem and brand over time. Yo, maybe he left because, Farouk wasn't a part of the council. Maybe they didn't invite him. Psyduck is still there. Psyduck's still on the Cool Cats train. They posted a little mural of all of them, but they have 2 spots open for their community council board. And it's up to you to vote on that. Visit the Discord for more information.
I'm gonna vote for BSB. I'm gonna say that right now.
Yes, sir.
I think we should just everybody go in there, do a write-in vote. Let's get BSB. We need BSB on this council. Absolutely.
That's the only thing that can save Cool Cats.
If you're listening right now, go to the Discord and let's pump up BSB. Absolutely, he can save Cool Cats. So, all right, going back to the not to Fro, but going back to the boss quests. What are your thoughts on how they're doing the boss quests? What are your thoughts on the gameplay? Like, is it a game? It's
trash.
It's trash. You go in and play tic-tac-toe. You go in and play paper, rock, scissors. It's like, I don't know, man.
I'd rather them not release anything. I'd rather them take it off than release another tic-tac-toe or paper, rock, paper, scissors game.
Yeah.
At this point, yeah, like, let me just stake my cats. Like, stop having me click on text, do this and that. Like, yeah. Try again. Some things, they're just not meant to work. And
yeah.
Yeah,
it's tough. Crazy. It's crazy that people thought, and this is, I say people, I say me included, and a lot of people in the Discord were kind of expecting like the Pokemon of NFTs, right? Like we were expecting something like that, and instead we get to play a tic-tac-toe on chain. So
yeah, I mean, this is something that probably a sophomore in computer science, right, with a little specialization in crypto or blockchains, could probably do their first year.
Yeah. So
for them to think that like this was a good idea or like this was one of their goals, it's really an abomination of what crypto and Web3 games can be.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's move on. That's enough Cool Cats for the day. They got their fun yesterday. Let's talk about the fun of let's talk about the fun of today, which everyone's been kind of ragging on Pixel Vault, but they also have some news that we can go over real quick. So they approved. So the Founders DAO approved basically their legal wrapper in the Cayman Islands. So the Founders DAO is now like a official business entity in the Cayman Islands. So they got that set up, or they got voted on, so it's about to be set up. And then they sent out this tweet that the Up DAO is a go for launch, and maybe there's more information, more teasers coming out for the actual Meta Hero game, like more of that universe coming out. So I don't know. There are some announcements and everything, but people are still, just like the Cool Cats the other day, everyone's kind of trashing Pixel Vault today for how they've done things. And do you have any thoughts on these news items for Pixel Vault and the Founders DAO?
I just feel like the news is a little bit too late. I mean, we've seen the floor price crash across in all of their collections, right? Especially over the last month. There's been so much FUD, so much crashing of the collection, the floor prices. And so could they have released this 2 weeks ago? I don't know. I'm just saying the timing of it all is kind of like too little too late. Even there was one of the big collectors of Pixel Vault yesterday. It wasn't necessarily huge, but definitely a big collector in Pixel Vault. He said he was dumping everything, right? Like he's getting out, going to a new collection. Yeah, this doesn't get me excited, and especially the voiceover. Like the video is actually kind of cool in a way. Like I get it, I understand it, but it sounds like Farouk giving a voiceover. I don't know, and that's never a good thing, by the way.
Yeah. If you want to, you can go to their Twitter, the Founders DAO Twitter to listen to it. It doesn't sound great, but hey, if it's your thing, then go for it. I'm still very lukewarm / cold on Pixel Vault, even though I'm a huge holder in all of their assets, unfortunately. But
It
I guess
doesn't
it's just
inspire confidence.
no. It's just one of the things where I don't think the team is as good as people. We heard last year this is one of the best teams in the space. Punks, the Punks comics team, the Pixel Vault team, they're one of the best in the space. And then, but no one can answer like why.
They've
Because-
yet to deliver a single thing that we could actually use or play or interact with.
We haven't. They're supposed to be building this whole game around Meta Heroes. We haven't even seen a single like still image of the game. Like, are they? Is that? I'm doubting if there's an actual game actually being built. Like, we don't have any proof of it. We aren't told anything. So I think they see how Yuga is so silent and they try to take that same path, but they're not Yuga. So it's like you gotta pivot. You gotta be more transparent with people. And yeah, it's until then I'm still a holder. It's kind of one of those things that I'm just holding, I guess, to the moon or to the dirt, and it looks like it's it's currently right above the dirt. Like here's the dirt, and here's Pixel Vault price right now. So we're not at the dirt yet. They're still worth something, but we're on our way there. We are on the way, and maybe they can turn it around. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. All right, we have some more news this week. 10KTF. They minted out their combat crates.
Yeah.
They weren't when it was all said and done, the airdrops, the minting, all of it. There was just over 11,000 that were minted, and right now it's sitting at let me refresh it just to be sure. At the time, so it's gone down since then. So well, let's go back. Go back. So we're at a 0.58 floor, which still is pretty close to the mint price, as we've seen. So it's still basically right at mint price. Just kind of go ahead.
Kind of impressive. I mean, at over 10K assets, some of them airdropped. Yeah, I mean, I thought that these would dump probably within 48 hours of the close of the sale, but I mean, they're holding strong. Personally, if it didn't dump yet, like, I think that they would dump a bit after the reveal for some of the less rare, or another way to say it, just more common items that you get from the crates. I do expect it to drop a bit, but I do actually expect the collection to recover from that. So just like the Jenkins, right? I expect the Jenkins to crash after a lot of the free supply came out, which it kind of did. It dumped quite a bit, but then it recovered all the way up to, not only recovered, it went like 3 times that price.
Yeah, and when we saw in our very first segment on Flips, the number one trending project of the last 7 days is Bored and Dangerous. Even after all the airdrops, it's up to 0.55. So you kind of think we see a similar path for the combat crates?
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be as much, because it was definitely a higher mint price than Jenkins Jenkins Valet. These were essentially 0.55 or 0.5 mint price, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Jenkins was not too much lower, but definitely a lot lower than that.
I think 0.15 if you had the discount, or
if you had the discount.
0.25 for public, or the
So
non-discount.
do I think that they're going to do the same multiple as Jenkins? Absolutely not. Do I think some of the distribution of these crates is going to be a lot better? Right now we have 3.7K owners, 11.1K items, so that's roughly three per owner. Once we see that get to 1 point something crates per owner, I think we see the floor take off from there.
Yeah, I'm a fan. I'm gonna be watching these, because if these do dip much lower, I may be scooping up some more. I picked up 10 in the mint. Looking forward to opening those. How many did you pick up? I know you had some ape coins spread up across different wallets and everything.
I think 8.
Okay.
I think my final number was 8. JVB says floor for socks Gen 1 is above 0.4. One of the things to note about these combat crates is, I know I've seen a couple of tweets about why would these combat crates be worth more than some of the Genesis items, right? But they're level 2 gear, so sure, is it like a Genesis item? No, but are these supposed to be kind of like better weapons and gear than the Genesis?
Yeah,
technically, especially when they're combined with something from that Genesis collection. So
yeah, and we had news break right before our stream earlier today. Obviously the crates were airdropped, and then they are gonna have the minting starting at August 18th. You're able to open your crates And then level 1, level 2 PFP minting begins also on August 18th at 3 p.m.
Yep.
So a week from today. So maybe on our stream next week, we can open some crates.
Yeah, why not?
Why not? Yeah. Any final thoughts on 10K TF? Are you pretty, just in general, are you kind of, I guess, bullish or confident in 10K TF as a project?
I'd say I'm a little bullish. I think the level of quality of their media and the assets that they come out with,
Yeah.
definitely looks pretty cool. But so does Pixel Vault. Like I can't lie, some of the Pixel Vault stuff does look pretty cool. But like, do they do anything with it, right? And
Right.
at least at the very least, there is Battle Town in this project where you can do some of the quests, and it's actually it's a little bit more than Tic Tac Toe and Rock Paper Scissors of Cooltopia.
Ooh, man, that's crazy that they could do that. That's impressive. That they can get better than that.
I'm saying at least it's something versus Pixel Vault is nothing. And then the other thing is that this project specifically still has a little bit of like curiosity, a little bit of like hidden content.
There's the
to
mystery.
There's like a little bit of mystery, and then there's that tie, right? There's that rumor of being tied to other side, and then now it's also powered by Ape Token. So I don't know. Because of all of that, I still think there's a lot of speculation and hype about it. And if it's one thing that we've learned over the last year, is that speculation and hype are some of the two biggest ingredients that you can have behind a project in terms of its volume and floor price activity. So that's why I'm still interested.
Yeah, I am as well. I mean, for all the same reasons. I'm pretty confident and I'm pretty big on this team. Basically, if your project is any way related to Yuga at this point, it's not. I'm not gonna say it's a sure thing, but it's got a better chance of succeeding than aliens or rare Pepes.
Once this project ever releases a final product, or once we know all the answers, then I'm no longer bullish. Because people hate that.
Because we've seen it. Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, with that being said, maybe we sell. Maybe now's the time to sell. I don't know.
Yeah, you got to sell before they announce
Yep.
all the details of the project, all their relationships. They disclose everything because people love mysteries, man.
If they ever announce, like, hey, this time next week, we're gonna announce who's on the team. We're gonna announce, all this stuff. That's the point. You sell. Absolutely. All right, let's move on to another bigger than NFT topic, but this one's gonna it's gonna affect us pretty big. And we have the merge. So the Ethereum merge is happening September 15th and 16th. They've set the date now officially. We had it go on live on the what was it, the Go Early? I can't pronounce it. The Go Early, one of the test net. The Gorley. That test net went live yesterday with the merge, and looks like it's successful, ready to go. So next step now is mainnet merge is coming. And Jeremy, you're the tech guy. We know this, so I want you to kind of listen. The whole Michael Scott thing. Explain it to me like I'm 5. Mm-hmm. Explain it to me. The chat. What is this? What does the merge mean, and how does that affect us?
All right, so I won't get too deep, but essentially for those of you who are just like absolutely clueless about what the merge may be, Ethereum mainnet, since it was conceived and working, it's always been a proof of work network. And this merge is huge news because it's going to be the first time, like full transition of the entire network on mainnet, that is going to be moved to a proof of stake system. So what that essentially means is that it sets the table for future scaling upgrades that can be possible via sharding. Then also it reduces Ethereum's energy consumption by 99.95%. So in terms of energy usage consumption and people that they have to, the Ethereum that we give out to these validators, right, it decreases significantly. So we should be able to do a lot more, right, for a lot less, because we're moving to Ethereum proof of stake. And this is what this also means for you is that, like, what do you need to do to get ready, right? Do I have to switch wallets? Do I have to like take all my Ethereum off of a centralized exchange? Should I send it to a centralized exchange? Am I going to get double the Ethereum? There's this word called triple halvening, right? Does that mean like all my Ethereum is going to get triple halved? What am I going to end up with? the bottom line is you literally do not need to do anything. All your funds are safe. They will be protected going into the merge. You don't have to send them anywhere. You don't have to make a new wallet. Um, yeah, there's pretty much nothing you need to do. I mean, just crack open a beer and get ready for.
There's no allow list for the merge.
There's no allow list for the merge. Oh yeah, no, thanks for bringing that up because I wanted to say like, be wary and be alert for some scams that could be coming out in the next 4 weeks, because as we get to this upgrade date, like there are definitely going to be scammers like, hey, you need to upgrade to ETH2. Hey, stake your
click
ETH
on this to get ready. Yeah,
if you stake your ETH, then we're gonna pay you out 1,000% APR, right? When ETH2 comes out, you gotta convert your ETH to ETH2 token. You gotta approve your ETH for this. Like, there's not gonna be any of that. So please do not fall for any scam like that.
And from what I understand is we're gonna basically, since we're switching to a proof of stake network, that the miners that were mining through the proof of work, they're not getting they completely lost their avenue for making money now, because that's no longer a thing. But from what I understand is that they're still going to be like, even though everything's being kind of copied over to a proof of stake, there's still going to be a proof of work network. So from what I've seen, maybe this is wrong, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but there's going to be kind of forks, right? Where it's like, right now, let's say it's hypothetically, I have 2 ETH right now. So whenever the merge happens, I'm gonna have 2 ETH on proof of stake, and then there may be a fork from the miners and everything, and then I'll have 2 ETH on proof of work still. But basically, everything on proof of work is you can view it as worthless, right? It's just non-existent. It's it's there, but it's not there. And proof of stake is the only thing that matters. But there's gonna be people that try to make it seem like it's more valuable. Like, you may get people trying to think like, hey, well, it still has value over there, so you can go buy things over here or do whatever. Is that accurate? Did I misinterpret that part?
No, I mean that's accurate. I forgot if it's Ethereum or Bitcoin, but actually we already have something like that where there was a previous like version, right? OG version,
right,
where people have tried to stay with and essentially say like, no, this is the real blockchain, right? Yeah. Like super authentic. I mean, both of them are authentic, they're real, but like, no, this is the only way. So it's kind of, I mean, again, not to speak about religion on the stream, but different denominations of the same religion, right? So certain parties believe that their way is the correct way.
Yeah. So just be wary of that, because there may be some influencers or people out there trying to persuade people thinking that something that holds value when it actually doesn't, and just stick to whatever is the proof of stake, and just stay with that, and there's nothing we need to do to change over. It's already there. Cool. All right. Well, that is all of our notes that we had to go through. Jeremy, you have any final comments, notes, anything for us?
There's quickly, I just wanted to pull up the merch from the Illuminati and see people's opinions on the jacket now that we have the full picture.
Let's see it.
Of what this jacket is. So let's see. Let me pull this up here. Let's see if I can get that done. Which pictures do I want to pull up? All right, I'll pull up these 3. We can get people's opinions. I don't know what to think, honestly. I'm kind of a little torn on it. The other thing is that it is 0.1583 Ethereum. So do I want to pay that much for this hoodie? Not sure. Or sorry, jacket. So without further ado, here it is. We have the Illuminati. This is from the Illuminati NFT, the same creators behind the Goblin project. They airdropped these passes at one time to people who didn't have their Illuminatis listed, or they held them for a certain amount of time. They got airdropped to those wallets, and then you can only redeem this jacket or pre-order this jacket if you own those passes. So this is what they call the Illuminati Smokers Jacket. Sorry, the Inducted Smokers Jacket.
Okay.
So I don't know. What do you think? Like the rolled back cuffs, the little, what is this, satin? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think that's what you would say. I like it, but I don't think I could pull it off. So I would like it from a distance, but it's probably nothing I would actually wear. Yeah, kind of totally like unique. Yeah, it's not for me. I do want to know, how can I get my hands on that headpiece though?
Well,
I would wear that.
the headpiece. Oh,
Yeah,
no,
yeah. Let me put that on
not
my head with the one eye and the pyramid. Yeah, I could rock that around town for
not
sure.
gonna lie. Like my brain just completely ignored that. I guess because I'm so used to looking at them. Like it wasn't even a big thing. I do
Right.
like that inner material. It's like, so this looks, and looks versus what you receive can be two very different things.
Yeah.
But this looks like a high quality
It, do-
merchandise piece.
it does. It looks nice. The color is a no for me, and I don't think I'm a fan of the cuffs. I'll say that. But everything else, I like. I like the hood. I like the material inside, like that kind of, that detail it has. I think it looks nice, but it's nothing that I would wear.
So I think in Bartolo or somebody, like, correct me if I'm wrong. I think this up here is what actually makes it a smoker's jacket. I'm pretty sure this is a pocket for what was traditionally used as a cigarette box. But I think that's what technically makes it a smoker's jacket.
Interesting. There we go. Are you a fan of it? What are your thoughts on it? You're the merch guy.
I think it looks super clean. I think it looks nice.
Would
I
you
don't
wear
know
it?
if I want to purchase it for 0.15.
Yeah.
I would wear it, but like, I'd wear, I'd wear a lot of things.
Oh, I know.
So yeah, I mean, I'll probably end up copping it. I just don't know down here in Texas, how many
Yeah.
opportunities I'm gonna get to be able
You
to rock
probably
that.
got a couple days of the year you can wear that on.
Yep. Yeah, that's Illuminati. They also released the pins available for redemption now. I don't know if this is, no, I can't show them, but the pins are what I'm excited about too. And those are essentially free. You only paying for shipping, like 0.0026 Ethereum. But anyways, that's what came out today. So their merch drop from the Illuminati and the Goblins is now over, and now you can only redeem these pieces if you have the correct passes.
Cool.
We've had a couple merch collections drop this week, by the way, is like Half Baked. Half Baked, they are not sold out. They definitely had quite a few mints. I'd say like well over 1,000. Bentley, like the car manufacturer, they announced their NFT project. Who else? MetaDragon started minting this week. Actually, they tried minting. That was a fail. On them yesterday. They cannot get their mint up and running, so they have postponed it until tomorrow. So they will try again tomorrow. The 0x strip, we already talked about that. Spirit Gates, that's one that I've mentioned before. They opened up their Discord today. That's a project from one of my Twitter friends, Jyoti. She's been a long-time artist, actually, since she was quite young. Hopefully we can get an interview with her at some time for her to tell you her whole story. But she's like a genuine, like, good human being. And this is all like handmade art. So that's Spirit Gates.
Cool. My one thing, it's yeah. If you're still in Top Shot has released now you can look at their list, the leaderboards. You can lock your moments. So make sure, if you haven't looked at it in a while, go through, lock your moments. You want to make sure that you're in the top 750 of teams that you care about, or all of them, whatever you want. How extreme you want to get with it, that's up to you. But as long as you're in the top 750 of each team, or of a team leaderboard, you will get airdropped a team moment, and that's going to be a rare moment, and that's going to happen. I think the snapshot happens in September. So make sure you go do that. Lock your moments. You only get credit for in the leaderboard if your moments are locked, and you get bonus points if you lock sets. So if you have a full team set, make sure you lock a moment of each set, so you get that bonus for those for the sets. As you can see, I still have some work to do. I'm 14th in the Thunder. I feel like I need to get top 10 for the Thunder, just to show my fandom. But there's some other teams that I'm kind of, that I'm not top 750 in, so I need to go do some shopping, because I think eventually, I think I do want to get top 750 in all of these, on all the teams, so I can get the set for all of those moments. But
there are a couple other announcements. Thanks for reminding me, actually. So I think 2 or 3. So one is NF teams. After the stream yesterday, some people, we were in the voice chat, and they took the sports picking, right? The tips. Sports tips spots, and shout out to Sicko, Snow, and Chili. There was like 5 of us that ended up putting in a tip. and all three of their teams they won, so they easily took the poll. I think two of them technically got a perfect score, so those guys are killing it. I think we have to submit more picks tonight or by tomorrow or something like that, so I'll let you guys know. So GG's to them, they move on to the next round at their chance for like over $8,000. We do have an allow list to announce, but I think we'll probably just tweet that out, give you all the details there, so that way whoever's watching, who's not watching, they can get all the same information. That is going to be an allow list, and you do get to claim something physical for free. So I will.
Whoa! Are you just teasing it? No leaks.
No leaks. I will not spoil the news, but you do. If you win this allow list, you also get to claim something delicious for free. It is consumable. The other thing is, we will also be giving out Floor Friend app passes for people to go ahead and download. This is iOS and Android compatible. You can download the Floor app. It is essentially a portfolio and marketplace activity tracker for now, but it is expanding into much more. So we'll be giving those out as well.
Sounds good.
Free shipping. I can't remember actually at the point, so I don't want to lie to you, but I mean, even if you pay for shipping, it shouldn't be too much. Probably like $10.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that is all I've had. I think that's all our notes and everything we got, and we're basically around 2 hours. And there's our weekly recap, and we'll be back here next Thursday. Probably 6 p.m. Eastern, like we are trying to do. If not, it may be another time like this, but we will stick. It will be on Thursday at some time on Thursday. We'll be live again, and then we'll try to do some more streams in between, kind of like we've done in the past. I may do as another Zed stream. I think people like that, so I think I may do another Zed stream this weekend at some point. So be on the lookout for that. And if you have any Zed horses, look out for that stream, because we're gonna maybe we can get all the viewers together and we can all enter the same races and kind of race our horses together. That'd be kind of fun. Yeah, and so more streams, more content coming, and we're kind of holding back a little bit because in 2 weeks we're on like a 2-week countdown for something. Oh, sorry. Well, he just disconnected. Oh man. What are you trying to leak? Leaks. I'm just saying, 2 weeks. Mark your calendars. That's all I'm gonna say. Hey, that's it. Yeah, 2 weeks. We there's some stuff happening in the background. We're looking forward to. All right. But all right. Any final words of wisdom you got for the chat? That's it. Be your own alpha. That's it. Y'all showing out. Appreciate all the resubs, all the sharing, all the comments, all the interactions. We love you guys. Stay safe. Stay humble. Actually, absolutely. No, stay safe. All right, don't be humble. Peace. Yeah, that's Rich coming from Jeremy telling someone to be humble. Oh my god. But all right, y'all stay hydrated. Check that posture. Touch some grass. BYOA. Peace.